Hello YouTube, my name is Jack. Welcome back to another tournament in review. If you've never seen one of these videos before, what is it? Well, I take an army over to a tournament. In this case, it will be the lovely demons yet again. I'm going to show you my list and then I'm going to show you the 3 games that I played at the RTT. I'm going to discuss those games in detail, where I placed my units, what I did, how I won or potentially lost, etc, etc. And then we're going to catch up at the end and talk about the list and how it went and see if I want to do any changes, what units were good, what units were bad, and what I would do moving forward. So if you are a demon player and you want to learn some tactics and some strategy, this is the video for you. And if you're looking to beat demons, then stay tuned. Now, before we jump into that, if you're going to enjoy today's video, please like and subscribe, become a member. It's only $4 Australian a month, and it really does help me out in making more videos for you guys. We do 3 streams a week. Membership is extremely cheap. It costs you basically nothing, but it helps me out as well. So please consider doing that. And our Discord is the first link in the description, and it's entirely free to join. You can leave all your comments and questions down there as well. If you don't want to leave them as a YouTube comment, you can go down there and I will be happy to chat with you. And members also get exclusive access to a members only section. So if you want to be a part of this community, especially if you're a demon player, then consider doing that down below. Now let's chat about my list and see how I went. Now here is the list that I did take to the tournament. I am of course recording all of this in the future, so I already know how I've gone, but my main tactic with this style of list was I kept losing games because I didn't have any battle line units. So based on the previous videos, if you've seen the rest, you can go check out that way if you have not seen all of my other videos, but I added some more battle line units. So I have 2 units of Plague Bearers, 2 units of the Bloodletters, so that I can do Bloodletter bombs. I only have 1 with a character there, Skull Taker, and I have, of course, Epidemius in my list. I just love Epidemius for giving me CP, and also he is a bit of a powerhouse as well when you stack up all the buffs on him. Now, I am also taking the 3 units of 3 Screamers this time. I think Screamers are probably the best scoring unit that we have. They move 14, they can do some mortal wounds, they're a bit annoying in combat to kill, and 3 wounds a pop means that only 3 damage weapons are really good into them, in which not a lot of armies have flat 3 damage, so 2 wound weapons are really annoying when you're shooting at Screamers because you have to get 2 through to kill one, and with a 4-up invuln, sometimes they spike and they can be quite annoying. I also have my drones to give myself rerolls, my 2 Great and Clean ones, Rodriguez for damage and the Great and Clean one for holding objectives and just buffing things up. He can indirectly as well buff things like Corn units because he can make things -1 toughness. I've got Scarbrand, no Bloodthirsters here. I think Scarbrand is still the way to go. +1 attack on all of these Bloodletters is really, really good. Single Rendmaster and a Skull Cannon. Now, we shall see how this goes. We have 3 games ahead of me. No spoilers here. Let's catch on with the games and then see what I change at the end. Hello YouTube, this is Jack from the future saying I'm going to give this a new style of recording my thoughts post-game. Let me know what you think. I'm obviously doing this after I've played all of the games, and I'm just going to speak over these clips that are rolling past now and tell you about the games as we go. So this was the first game that I played. It was against Chaos Knights, the lovely Kyle. I versed him before. He's a very good player. In fact, the last time I versed him, I got 14 points, including painted score against his orcs. So thank God he was playing Chaos Knights today. He was playing 5, I think, Brigands and 5 Carnivores with a Desecrator. Essentially, I played the game quite slow, trying to move up into the mid board and get my Great and Clean one to hold this point here. He did end up moving the Desecrator towards the middle of the board. I did have Rodriguez jump around with some Screamers to kind of deals with some War Dogs on one flank, keeping all of my eggs safe in my basket back in my backfield so that nothing could kill me too fast. I did rapid ingress at some point, Scarbrand into the middle of the board, who finally made a charge onto the Desecrator, instantly killing it. And then in the next turn, Scarbrand, of course, the classic, failed every single one of his invulnerable saves, and he went down in 1 shot, thanks to Melters. That was lovely. But I did manage to clean up a fair few knights. In this game, I was playing Fixed, and I was playing Bring It Down and Establish Locus, so I could just do actions in the backfield. I had a unit of Plague Bearers just doing actions in his back corner the entire time. And then basically I was just holding points. I only held up to 20 because we were playing the ritual. So I was just trying to hold to the magic 20 so that I could eventually get access to the secret missions and then try and do a secret mission. When you're playing the ritual, it's quite easy to do a secret mission because, for example, I could create an extra objective on the left there like I did with the drones, and at the end of the game, if my secret mission is to hold 3 objectives in no man's land, then I can potentially just out OC him with Rodigus. I could also put my warlord on his home objective, which I ended up doing with Rodigus. Now, Rodigus is normally always my warlord, but I do want to say a massive shout out to Kyle. I kind of looked at the end of the day, and totally my error. I had put the Grand and Clean one as my warlord on my list because I submitted it the night before. They were all very kind about it. I did definitely say at the beginning of the game who my warlord was, blah, 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 all of my intentions. But I put Rodigus on the home field at the end of the game because he moved his war dogs off to try and shoot my plague bearers in case I could get a battle line unit in his deployment zone, which would have been my other tactic. And he didn't expect me to put Rodigus up in the air and then land him on the home field and win the game. It was very funny. That one was a very close game though. I think I only won by a couple of points because I was down really bad at the end. So it was a tight victory, but a win against the Chaos Knights. Now this next game I went up against a T-Sons player, Michael. Now Michael is on Team New South Wales. He's one of the best players that I know. Very, very good player obviously to be on Team New South Wales, and he was playing T-Sons. Now he does play T-Sons a fair bit, but he is newer to the army compared to some of the other armies he plays. And even he was convinced that he was making up rules throughout the game because T-Sons are incredibly overtuned. They are ridiculous. Literally at every point in the game, I was like, can I do this? And he was like, yes, but I can also do this. And I was like, are you serious? And he's like, yep, I can do that too. T-Sons are just insane. I definitely think that they are top of the meta. They're really, really, really hard to do anything against. I did move my Great and Clean one there, and you can see he's taken 7 wounds. That was from a single Infernal Masters Overwatch. So yeah, against my T12 4+4+, feel no pain, Great and Clean one. It was a close game. I did try to pull out all the stops for this one. He did take fixed secondaries to bring it down and assassinate. I kept everything really safe towards basically for the entire game. And then at the end of the game, I did try to go for the big play to try and charge everything into Magnus and see if I could kill him. I whiffed pretty hard and I failed a lot of my battle shocks this game and my feel no pain rolls as well. And I did lose out, I think, by 12 points. But honestly, for a Demons list going up against a T-Sons list, especially piloted by a member of Team New South Wales, I think that that is a really, really good effort. Everyone expected me to get absolutely crumped into the ground. So to go to lose only by 12 points, which in teams scoring is like a 12-8 or something, is pretty good. I would say that that's a pretty good effort. I could have made it even closer as well. I think I could have made it lost by about 4 points if I played the last turn correctly. So, I mean, that would have been a tie in team scoring, a 10-10. So really, really good effort here from me. And I'm proud of what I could do. I don't think that I could have eked out a win. I would have needed to get quite lucky. And against T-Sons, you don't really need luck because they have rerolls on everything and sustain on everything and dev wounds on everything. You don't even need luck. They can just autosave and get free rerolls and everything. So yeah, it was close. Massive respect to Michael. He played a killer game and he was really impressed with what I could do. So I'm proud of myself, but it was a loss nonetheless. As you can see right at the end of the game here, I do have my Great and Clean ones, my Rodigus in the middle, just to get me some final points. And Scarbrand did try and teleport over to kill Magnus and then failed and died. But yeah, basically I took fixed in this game as well and tried to do Locus and Engage, I think was the other one, or something else I tried to do, oh, Assassinate, that's what it was. And I did kill a lot of characters, sniping them out with things like Skulltaker and Locus as well. It was really, really close, but you can see my pile of shame in the corner there at the end. That's all dead, and it was good fun. Now, moving on to this last game, game 3 of the day, I did go up against an absolutely lovely opponent, and his son as well. Shout out to Jim. He is incredible opponent playing as Blood Angels, and his son Rupert, who watches my videos as well. It was really fun to get to play against someone that knew me from the community, which was awesome. He did not have, I think, the greatest list. I think Jim is just getting back into the hobby after some time away, and unfortunately for Jim, because he had won a game and lost a game, and it was random pairings, he went into me at the end of the day, and being a very experienced player, yeah, it was just an unfortunate time for Jim. He had his Land Raiders, a Lancer, and his little Bile Predator there. Basically, I just swamped the board so that he could not deep strike any of his Death Company anywhere, and then I just put my Great and Clean Ones in the middle of the board. He could not deal any damage to them whatsoever. I think at the end he killed Rodigus, but yeah, essentially the Great and Clean One was charged by a whole lot of Blood Angels, but they're all like 1 damage or 2 damage, and they're wounding me on like 5s and things like that. So yeah, it was just a long slog for him in the middle of the board. The Blood Angels couldn't get in anywhere. We were both playing tactical. It was hidden supplies as well, which meant that there was 6 objectives, so I could deep strike 6 inches away if I held 2 of them. So naturally, yeah, the Bloodletters came in. They cleaned everything up because they're 2 damage, and it was a pretty decisive victory, down to 91-61. Which was pretty good effort from Jim. You know, that's definitely not a 20-0, but yeah, there was honestly not much that he could do against me. The terrain and the mission kind of favored the demon matchup a bit more, and he didn't have any heavy hitting units besides his tanks to try and shoot me to death, and I just stopped them from moving for most of the game. But it was a great game. Shout out to Jim and shout out to Rupert as well, for being such lovely blokes. And yeah, hopefully I get to have a game against Jim in the future. Yeah, his Blood Angels were awesome, very nicely painted as well. And yeah, he was very well prepared, had all of his books and his dice and everything out and ready to go. So he's having a great time playing at tournaments. It just was a bit of a shame that he matched into me at the end of the day. So 2-1, not a bad showing at all. Here we are at the end. So how did I go? All right, well, 2 wins and 1 loss. Now, the 1 loss, as you already know, I lost to a Team New South Wales player, Michael. He's very good. And at the end, I did throw away Scarbrand, and I could have potentially had like maybe a 4-point loss or something like that at the end there. That would have been really close, which, to be honest, for a Demons list against T-Suns and playing against one of the Team New South Wales players, that is a pretty damn good result. A lot of people basically expected me to just get curb stomped and lose, and even then, I think I got a bit unlucky with my battle shocks, and the Great and Clean One failed a lot of his Feel No Pains. So honestly, pretty good day out. I could have been potentially 3-0. I won a game with a secret mission, which was bloody incredible, and so the list performed really well. What would I change? Well, honestly, I'm not too sure. I don't really know what performed really well and what didn't perform. In some games, this extra unit Bloodletters didn't really do anything. In other games, they actually came in really handy. The extra unit Plague Bearers actually really helped a lot for doing actions and things, so I quite like that. I think that my core is still really good. 2 Great and Clean Ones, 1 being Rodigus, Epidemius, Plague Bearers, Drones, and then Scarbrand with the Rendmaster and the Skull Cannon, and a unit Bloodletters with Skull Taker. I'm convinced that all of that is really good. The only things I might change is the Plague Bearers, the Bloodletters, and then the 3 Screamer units, like the additional unit on each, and then the 3 Screamers. But honestly, these are really good for scoring, and these are just quite good too. Potentially, what I could do is go even more heavy on the scoring and maybe cut out like a single unit of Screamers and the unit of Bloodletters and just put in things like Nurglings or Blue Horrors maybe. I'm not too sure. I think Nurglings, I'm missing Nurglings because not only do they give battle line to my army so that I can potentially deep strike into the enemy zone and not do actions, but just get secret missions, which is quite cool. But Nurglings also make it so that your army can be -1 to hit against melee heavy factions like World Eaters, Black Templars, loads of different things. So it actually really helps out. So going from here, I made another list and I'm really tempted to try it out, but it's very different. I have added in this. So basically, this stays the same. I take this out, this whole section, so all of the Nurgle stuff, I take it out and a unit of Screamers. I put the 2 units of Screamers together as 1 unit of 6, and then I run this instead. Now, this is not a Burning Chariot, it's a Fate Skimmer. I just haven't painted my Fate Skimmer. Yeah, essentially a Fate Skimmer with 6 Screamers, 3 units of Fleshhounds, 2 units of the Nurglings, and then a big Blood Crusher bomb instead of all of this Nurgle. Now, it does give up, because you only have the 2 big boys here, 12 for Bring It Down, which is quite handy. It puts Vect back in the list, so you can increase the CP cost of enemy stratagems. And a lot of people are going to be like, well, Jack, why are you playing with Fleshhounds now when you said Screamers are better? Okay, 2 reasons. First reason is I only own 9 Screamers, and I couldn't put them into this list because I'm using 6 of them with the Fate Skimmer bomb, and I don't want to paint more. I'm just lazy like that. And the second thing is because I just didn't have any extra points. So basically, these fit perfectly to 2,000 points. If I had an extra 5, I'd replace one of these units with my extra unit of Screamers, but I just can't do that because I'm just to the nose on points. And I think that this is a decent style list. The Nurglings can do up and down actions for battle line stuff. You still have 4 battle line units with the 2 units of Bloodletters and the 2 units of Nurglings. And then we have the units of Screamers for, well, I have a Fate Skimmer bomb to basically go up once and then come down and kill something. But yeah, it's very damage orientated because the Fleshhounds have a way less holding power, of course, than something like my Nurgle side. But it does mean that I have a Blood Crusher bomb, 2 Bloodletter bombs, and a Fate Skimmer bomb, and Scarbrand for melee. So tons and tons of melee. And then I've also got Vect in there as well. So melee armies would hate to verse this because I have Nurglings for -1 to hit. I have Vect, so you can't basically do fight on death or enter a fight, etc, etc. It just means that shooting armies will be a little bit harder to play around. Things can obviously move through walls and there's less targets to see anyway, but I really don't know. I don't know how this will fare. I think the other bonus as well for running things like Fleshhounds at this point in time is that 2 of the major factions that are winning events are currently Thousand Sons and Tyranids. And yeah, Tyranids, surprisingly, they got a lot of buffs and they're really scary. So they have a lot of psychic shooting with things like Neurotyrants who want to shoot Fleshhounds, and Thousand Sons, of course, have all psychic shooting. So when they target something like Fleshhounds, you get the 3-up Feel No Pain. It's actually a quite good spot for them in the meta in terms of the armies that you're going to be versing. So I think I don't mind Fleshhounds, honestly, which is quite cool. So I'm going to be testing this out in the coming weeks and we'll see how we go. By the time this video comes out, I will probably have already changed my mind, but this is essentially what I'm going to run with for the meantime. I'm going to give Nurgle a bit of a break and we'll see how we go. But yeah, loads of Khorne, a little bit of Nurgle, a little bit of Tzeentch. And we'll see how we go. Khorne is just so strong. Now, as usual, if you've made it all the way to the end of this video, it's probably quite a long one, then thank you very much for watching this video. I greatly appreciate it. It means the world to me. And if you have not yet liked, subscribed, done all that stuff below, please do that. Join our Discord, as I said at the beginning of the video. If you haven't done that yet, it's free, you may as well, and become a member. It's only $4 Australian a month. For most people, especially if you are an American viewer, that's really cheap for you. And it really helps me out. So consider doing that down below. I don't like to beg, but when I ask, it actually does happen. Thank you all for watching. Keep the ideas coming, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out. Bye.